Today, you're going to discover how olive oil can become your greatest ally for lasting longer, achieving firmer erections, and recovering that confidence in the bedroom you thought was gone for good. All with clear steps and without relying on miracle solutions or dangerous shortcuts. What you're about to hear isn't a sales pitch. It's a straightforward look at what's actually happening inside your body. And one simple, consistent habit that can start turning things around, beginning tonight. If you've ever felt like your body stopped cooperating and you kept that frustration to yourself, you're not alone. Millions of men over 50 experience exactly this. The energy fades, the response slows, the confidence takes a hit. And most of them never talk about it, never look for answers, and quietly accept it as an inevitable part of getting older. It isn't. Today, we're going to change that conversation. And the thread running through all of it is a single, humble ingredient sitting in kitchens around the world: extra virgin olive oil. The real reason things start to slow down. Before we get to the solution, we need to understand what's actually going on under the surface. Most men assume that a decline in sexual performance and energy is purely hormonal, that testosterone drops with age, and that's the end of the story. And while hormones absolutely play a role, that's only half the picture. The other half is circulation. Your intimate response is almost entirely dependent on blood flow. When arousal signals fire, blood needs to move quickly and efficiently to exactly the right places. If the pathways carrying that blood are stiff, narrowed, or inflamed, the response is sluggish, or doesn't arrive at all. And here's the part that catches most men off guard. The same lifestyle habits that quietly damage your heart are quietly damaging your intimate health too. Late dinners loaded with processed food, poor sleep, low physical activity, chronic stress. These don't just add inches to your waist, they stiffen your arteries, raise baseline inflammation, and throw your hormones out of rhythm. The good news? The same changes that support your cardiovascular health also support your vitality in the bedroom. And one of the most powerful, accessible, and research-backed tools for both is extra virgin olive oil. Think of your arteries like rivers. Here's the image that makes this click for most people. Your arteries are like rivers. When those rivers flow freely, with flexible banks and a clean, clear channel, water reaches every corner of the landscape with full force. But when the banks are rigid and the channel is clogged with debris, the flow weakens. Pressure builds in some places, and in others, barely a trickle gets through. Extra virgin olive oil works like a slow, steady restoration of those riverbanks. Night after night, it helps maintain arterial flexibility, reduces the internal buildup that narrows your vessels, and supports the kind of smooth, unobstructed blood flow that your body needs to respond when it matters most. This isn't a quick fix. It's a quiet, consistent process, and that's exactly what makes it powerful and lasting. Why nighttime is the key. Now here's the detail that separates results from wishful thinking. Timing matters enormously. When you fall asleep, your body doesn't rest, it works. The overnight hours are when your system repairs cell walls, regulates hormone production, clears inflammatory waste, and resets the metabolic processes that govern your energy and drive. It is, in every sense, your body's secret workshop. If you feed that workshop the right materials just before it opens for the night, you're actively cooperating with everything your body is trying to do. You're giving it a clean, stable, high-quality fat to work with, one that supports rather than disrupts those overnight processes. Most men eat their last meal and fill it with the wrong things: heavy carbohydrates, refined oils, processed ingredients that spike blood sugar and trigger an inflammatory response right when the body is trying to recover. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil before bed does the opposite. It stabilizes, it soothes, it supplies. What olive oil is actually doing inside you. Let's break this down clearly, because understanding the mechanism makes it easier to stay consistent. It buffers blood sugar. Olive oil slows the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream, which means fewer overnight spikes and crashes, the kind that disrupt sleep, disturb hormone regulation, and leave you waking up exhausted instead of restored. It reduces chronic inflammation. Extra virgin olive oil is rich in polyphenols and antioxidants, compounds that actively work against the low-grade, persistent inflammation that accumulates over years of modern living. That inflammation is one of the key drivers of reduced libido, poor circulation, and low energy in men over 50. Addressing it consistently produces real, noticeable changes. It supports testosterone production. This surprises most men. Testosterone is actually synthesized from cholesterol, specifically the good kind. Olive oil helps your body manage cholesterol more effectively, giving your hormonal system better raw material to work with. More available good cholesterol, better hormonal environment, more vitality. It unlocks fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are critical for skin health, muscle function, immune strength, and cardiovascular performance. But here's the catch. They can't be absorbed without dietary fat. The right fat escorts these vitamins into your system and delivers them where they make a real difference. Without it, you can eat all the right foods and still miss out on their full benefit. The invisible fire that's draining you. There's something happening in the bodies of most men over 60 that goes completely unnoticed until its effects become impossible to ignore. Chronic inflammation is often described as a slow, silent fire. It doesn't cause sharp pain, it doesn't show up on your face, but it burns steadily in the background, consuming resources your body would otherwise use for energy, repair, and desire. Men living with this constant low-grade inflammation feel it as persistent fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, a mood that's harder to lift, a mental fog that sits over the morning, and in the bedroom, a desire that seems to have gone quiet, not dramatically, just gradually, until one day you realize it's been a while. The polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil, particularly oleocanthal and oleuropein, work directly against this process. They reduce the inflammatory signals circulating in your blood, clear some of the oxidative debris your cells accumulate over years, and free up energy that was previously being consumed just keeping that fire burning. The result isn't dramatic overnight, but within 2 to 4 weeks of consistent use, most men start noticing the edges soften. The mornings feel cleaner. The fatigue lifts a little earlier in the day. The mood stabilizes. And slowly, the desire that had been buried under all that exhaustion starts to resurface. How to do this correctly? Enough background. Let's get practical. The dose. Start with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil per night. After a week, if your stomach is comfortable with it, you can increase to 2 tablespoons. More than that offers diminishing returns for most people. The timing. Within 30 to 60 minutes of going to bed. Close enough to sleep that your body has it available during those overnight repair hours, but not so close that you're lying down on a full stomach. How to take it. You have options. Some people take it straight from the spoon. Hold it in your mouth for a moment and you'll notice its flavor. Fruity, grassy, with a mild pepper kick at the back of the throat. That kick is actually a sign of quality. Others prefer it with a squeeze of fresh lemon, which brightens the flavor and adds its own digestive benefits. You can also drizzle it over a small bowl of warm vegetables or a light salad if you'd rather not take it alone. What to pair it with? A cup of warm herbal tea and a few slow, deliberate breaths. Turn this into a 5-minute wind-down ritual. The parasympathetic state, calm, relaxed, unhurried, is the same state that supports healthy hormonal activity and circulation. You're not just taking a supplement, you're signaling your body that it's safe to repair. How to choose the right oil. This matters more than most people realize. Look for these words on the label: extra virgin and cold pressed. Both must be present. Pure olive oil, or just olive oil, is refined and lacks most of the beneficial compounds you're after. The bottle should be dark glass. Light degrades the polyphenols quickly. Check the harvest date if it's listed. Fresher is always better. Store it away from heat and direct light, ideally in a cool cupboard rather than next to the stove. When you taste it, the flavor should be alive. Grassy, slightly peppery, with a fruity finish. If it tastes flat, neutral, or faintly rancid, it's past its prime or was never high quality to begin with. You don't need the most expensive bottle on the shelf. You need an authentic one. What to expect and when consistency is everything here. Results don't come from intensity, they come from repetition. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, most men notice subtle shifts: slightly warmer hands and feet, marginally better sleep quality, a bit more energy mid-morning. By weeks 2 to 4, the changes become more noticeable: clearer thinking in the morning, a mood that lifts more easily, walks and physical activity feeling less labored. By the end of the first month, men who stay consistent typically report meaningful improvements in intimate response. Less effort required, more confidence, less anxiety around performance. The improvement is quiet and cumulative, not dramatic and sudden. But it's real, and it tends to stay. One important clarification. This habit does not replace medical care. If you're dealing with a specific condition, taking medication, particularly blood thinners, or managing diabetes or acid reflux, speak with your doctor before making changes to your nightly routine. What's described here is a foundational lifestyle adjustment, not a treatment. Think of it as building a better platform for everything else to work from. Medications work better when the underlying terrain is healthier. Treatments stick when the body is less inflamed, better rested, and better nourished. If you miss a night, you start again the next evening. No guilt, no lost ground. The body rewards consistency over time, not perfection in the short term. The bigger picture. Every night you go through this small ritual, you are making a deposit into what your body will be able to offer you tomorrow, next month, and a year from now. It doesn't make a sound when it happens. You won't feel a dramatic shift the first night, or even the 5th, but the account grows. And one day, sooner than you expect, you notice that you're waking up differently, moving differently, feeling differently in your own skin. You are not running out of time. You are not too far gone. You are not simply a victim of your age. You are the sum of the habits you repeat. And this one, small, simple, and taken seriously, has the potential to quietly change a great deal. Extra virgin olive oil at night opens pathways that had begun to narrow. It cools the inflammation that was stealing your energy and dampening your desire. It gives your hormones a cleaner environment to function in. And it delivers the raw materials your body needs to do its best overnight work. The results show up in the details: a clearer head in the morning, warmer circulation, more fluid movement, and in intimate moments, less resistance and more response. Before you go, there is one more piece to this puzzle that most men over 60 completely overlook. It enters quietly, operates invisibly, and is responsible for more lost vitality, lower drive, and unexplained fatigue than almost anything else. It's not what you eat. It's not how much you exercise. And it's not simply your age. If you can identify and correct this one factor, everything you've learned today becomes significantly more powerful. The video on your screen right now goes into exactly that: what this hidden drain is, why it targets men over 60 specifically, and what you can start doing about it this week. Click now and keep going. The full picture is worth it.